Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage. Another exciting day on the lot because we have the 2024 Kona N-Line. Now, this is the first 2024 Kona that I've seen in person, and yeah, it definitely looks better to me in person now that I see it than it did on pictures. I'm still not 100% sure of the front end styling. It's pretty nice, but you know, the old Kona was starting to grow on me. So this is all new 2024, completely, fully, 100% redesigned. The only thing it shares with the outgoing model is the engine. As a matter of fact, even the transmission is different, so that's cool, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this video, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of the features of the 2024 Kona N-Line. We're not going to do a drive though, because this vehicle just got here. I just pulled off all the plastic. I haven't even cleaned it yet, but it's clean enough for now. But yeah, let's cover all of the features and the changes with the 2024 Kona N-Line. Now, one of the big changes, of course, is the size. This thing is way bigger than the outgoing model. Significantly more legroom and more cargo space. Yeah, definitely better in that regard. So what we'll do though is we will start at the front of the vehicle, make our way to the back of the vehicle, and then we'll go inside the vehicle. Now, just real quick, apologies for the noise. There are some roofers behind me, and they're doing a good job here. But you are going to hear some pneumatic nailing coming from the roofers up there. Anyway, so starting at the front, we have a forward-facing radar right here, because this vehicle, of course, is equipped with autonomous emergency braking, as well as adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, pedestrian detection, cyclist detection, junction assist, and all sorts of other safety features as well. Now, this being the N-Line, you do get the little N-Line badge here on the left side, well, right side of the vehicle. One thing I will point out real quick, this is not the Performance N model. There's a difference between the Hyundai N and the Hyundai N-Line. N-Line is slightly more performance, but mostly just sporty looks. So if you're wondering what the difference is, that's the difference. We haven't got an N yet. That's going to be a little while. Now, we have on the N-Line, we do have LED high beams and headlights, and I'm very happy to see that they are a projector bulb or projector light for both the high beam and the low beam. We've got LED turn signals and this really cool LED strip going all the way across that doesn't actually flash like that in real life, guys. That's just the camera. And then a split grille, so two little openings there. For the first time ever, 19-inch aluminum alloy wheels on the Kona. And of course, the little N badge in the center there, which is kind of cool. Wrapped in the Kumo tires. These are the 235/45, of course, 19-inch. And they're the Majesty tires. Okay, that's a new one. Haven't seen those before. Got the N-Line badge right here. Got black mirror caps with turn signal repeaters on the mirrors. Blind spot monitor in the mirror, of course. And new for the Kona, no physical button here. It is a touch-sensitive button. Unfortunately, it looks like they did get rid of, oh, no, they got it. So there is a light inside there as well, so that'll come on as you approach the vehicle. Coming around the back here, the N-Line does get the little spoiler, which is cool. It's a split spoiler with the high-mounted brake light in the middle, black roof rails, and a black shark fin. This one also has a sunroof, and it is quite a large sunroof, but we'll have a look at that inside when we go on the inside of the vehicle. Big light bar along the back here, so that's part of the running lights, of course, and of course LED daytime running lights and LED tail lights, and it looks like possibly even LED. Nope, that's an incandescent backup light still. All right, underneath the bumper, you do have that little air diffuser there and twin chrome exhaust tips. All right, let's open up the tailgate here. We do have a little backup camera right there, and one place where the Kona really improves is going from 19.2 to 25.5 cubic feet of space. I'll put that in liters there on the screen for you. So the trunk is way bigger. Still have the privacy cover here, which of course is removable. And we still have the height adjustable floor. So you can actually take this floor out and put it up to the upper level. It's a little easier with two hands, but there you go. And now when the seats are down, which I'll do for you, with the seats down, 63.6 cubic feet So that's a huge amount of space. That rivals the Tucson. And as a matter of fact, the Kona now rivals the Tucson in a lot of different ways, especially things like headroom, legroom. So how many sales are we going to lose on the Tucson to the Kona? Well, that's okay, because they're all Hyundais, right? Now, having a look underneath the floor on the Kona, you can see we have no spare tire, but there's a bunch of extra storage space down here. But it does come with the tire mobility kit. Now, the keen observer will notice there's actually a screw here, so you could get a donut tire in there if you wanted to. There's plenty of space for that. On the sides of the trunk, we have a little bit of storage there and a little bit of storage there, of course. As I mentioned, you got some hooks here for grocery bags or whatnot, and then tie downs in each of the corners. So a pretty useful tail end of this vehicle. Now, this particular one does not have the power lift gate. However, you can see there is a cutout right here. So the ultimate version will have the power tailgate, and it'll be a smart power tailgate. You just stand behind the vehicle and it opens up for you. All right, before we go any further, we're gonna have a quick look under the hood, and you'll notice that the hood latch is different, kind of reminiscent of the Venue or the old Accent. Used to be right here, so they've changed that. But there's also a really cool change on the 2024 Kona that's been a long time coming, and it's very, very nice to see, and that is hood struts. So no more annoying hood peg that you got to put up. Now, powering the Kona N-Line is a 4-cylinder turbo GDI Smart Stream engine, making 190 horsepower, 195 foot-pounds of torque, which is no different from the outgoing model. However, what is different is they've done away with the dual clutch transmission, and it now has an 8-speed automatic transmission. So big thumbs up there. Not a lot of people like the dual clutch. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was fine for the smaller Kona, but I'm really, really happy to see that they've switched for the 8-speed in here. As for the rest of the stuff in here, I'm not going to get into it too much. Of course, you got your accessory battery over there. But yeah, the hood struts, very, very nice to see. And some nice insulation along the back firewall under the hood here as well. So it will be, like other Hyundais, a very, very quiet vehicle. All right, let's check out the back seat space and amenities on this vehicle. They've definitely made this vehicle larger. It's both longer and taller, and probably a bit wider as well. And what that's done, now keep in mind, I have this seat adjusted to where I am comfortable driving. So in the old Kona, I needed to have the seat a little bit further forward than what I would normally drive in if I had a passenger in the back. However, this one, as you can see, I now have legroom in front of me. It's actually quite a bit of legroom for a subcompact crossover. And check out how much room I have underneath the front seat. It is cavernous down here. It's huge. There's lots of space, and it's a nice flat floor as well. Also in here, you'll notice that the armrests are padded, which is good. We've got solid seat backs on the front seats. Cargo net there, nothing on the driver's side, unfortunately. There is 2 backlit USB-C ports right here and a little bit of storage. Nice place to put a phone. Also, a center cup holder armrest still, and it does actually lock in at this position. It doesn't flop on the seat. And of course, 2 cup holders in there as well, and nice and padded. We also have grab handles in all 4 corners, nice black headliner on the N-Line models, and of course a LED light here lighting it up. There's also bottle holders in the door, so you can see right there, just like the previous outgoing model. Nice sort of black chrome handles, looks really good. And some red stitching on the back of the front seats, and of course there's going to be a lot on the front seats as well. So we'll check out the front next, but yeah, lots of headroom, lots of legroom, lots of footroom. This is a very nice place to be, and the seat backs aren't like straight up either. They're quite raked, which is awesome. That makes it very, very comfortable. All right, now getting into the vehicle, I pointed this out earlier, but it does have this sort of touch-sensitive spot on the handle here. Now, if I have the key, if I pull the handle, you can see, or if I'm just putting my hand in there, it automatically will unlock, which is nice. So I don't even have to press that little button. But the cool thing about that technology is that's going to include digital key, which in America is already a thing. So digital key allows you to use your cell phone or a digital key card to unlock the doors and get in and start the car. Unfortunately, it's not available in Canada yet, but it is coming, and this vehicle is compatible and ready to go for that technology. So that's pretty exciting. Now we have on the front seat, so we have a manual front seat on the N-Line. The N-Line Ultimate, of course, will have a power driver's seat, but the manual seat is height adjustable, so you have a little handle here to adjust the height, and the passenger side is also height adjustable. The seats themselves do have the little N badge, and of course a beautiful red strip down there, as well as some red stitching, and of course the bolsters are flanked with leather. And then the inside, this is new for Hyundai. I haven't seen this before. Well, actually not new, I have seen this, but I can't remember what vehicle it was on. This is a suede material. It's a really, really nice feel, and it's perforated still as well. So really, really cool seats. And of course you see a lot of red stitching on the steering wheel as well, and a lot of red accents on the dashboard. So really cool looking interior, especially when the headliner and everything is black as well. That red really pops. It looks awesome. As for the doors, nothing really too much to talk about here. This is soft touch material here, and it is a padded armrest. But other than that, unfortunately, it does look a little bit bland. At least there's no piano black here, but there is a lot of black. We have the controls for the windows and the mirrors, nothing too crazy. And as you step into the vehicle, you notice there's a little checker flag marking here on the rocker panel, so that's quite a nice look. Aluminum pedals as well as an aluminum dead pedal. You have a tilt and telescopic steering wheel, of course, so nothing's changed there. We have our dimmer switch, traction stability control, and hill descent assist, which will reduce, or basically it'll maintain a hill descent speed under 40 kilometers an hour. So you let off the brake, and then the car will basically just continue on at whatever speed you were going. Headlight turn signal stock is new, so that's a new design. Good to see that they're actually changing up some of the designs there. But as far as legroom and headroom in here, well, let's have a look. So this is where I would normally drive it. I can now move the seat further back as well. Wouldn't need it this far back. This is further back than I would be comfortable driving. But look at how much headroom I've got. Let's drop the seat down here and have a look. Now, I'm 6'2". This seat is comfortably placed. It's not straight up and down or anything, but if it were, let's see here. Oh, that's way too straight. All right, so even if it were straight up and down, I still have a good 2.5 inches above my head. But I don't know anybody that can sit like that. There we go. So now I'm actually too far away from the steering wheel, as you can tell, and the steering wheel is pretty much, there we go, it's all the way out, and it's still quite far. So yeah, this is a very, very roomy cabin for this size of vehicle, and that's awesome. That's good to see. Speaking of the cabin, though, check it out. Look at the styling here. Very unique steering wheel, three spoke, lots of buttons, no touch sensitive stuff other than the screen, of course, and then more of that red accenting. This is kind of cool. So a nice place to kind of put a few little knickknacks, cell phones, whatever. Glove box is a little on the small side, but it's enough to house the manual and your insurance papers. Full panel here going all the way across. And let's fire up the car here and see what those screens look like. So new layout for the system here. This is quite different than it used to be. So still the same sort of applications on there, but we'll go through all of that in a bit. But as you can tell, it is a new layout. So 2 all-new screens for the Kona, a massive 12.3-inch instrument cluster and 12.3-inch infotainment screen, so much bigger. That's actually bigger than what you'll find in a Tucson. These are the same size screens as what you'll find in a Palisade or the Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5, that sort of thing. But yeah, lots of features to cover. So let's get started with the steering wheel. So first thing, major difference from the previous outgoing model is the fact that these buttons used to be on this side and these buttons used to be on this side. So as far as what the buttons are, we have our cruise control setting here. So this will turn on the cruise control and set your speed. And then you can also resume and adjust your speed right here. So this is a pause, resume, and then increase, decrease by 1 or 10 kilometers an hour. Right below that is the adaptive cruise distance. So that changes the distance that you're following the car in front of you. And then these two buttons will control the center of the instrument cluster. So we'll go over that in a bit. And then basically you also have an OK button here if you press it. So these two are mainly for that screen, but there's multiple functions there. This is your lane keep assist at any speed, which is really nice. You don't actually need to use cruise control to have lane keeping assist turned on. You can control the brake and gas manually, and then have lane keep assist turned on to help control the steering. On this side here, we have mode, so that's where music is coming from. So AM, FM, Sirius XM, cell phone, that sort of thing. Next station, previous station in your preset list, or next song, previous song, if you're listening to music from a source like your phone or whatnot. This right here is a customizable button. So the first time I press that, it'll bring up the options as to which one you can choose. I normally put that to home screen. So now when I press this, it will go to the home screen. There we go. So here's the voice recognition button. Now this only works if you have a phone connected. So that's for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And one thing that's interesting, you'll note actually there is a map button here. So in previous Hyundais, that would take us to the navigation screen. So when I saw that map button, initially I thought that the voice recognition would actually function built into the car. And that's because every other Hyundai that had the map button here had the built-in navigation system. This one, however, does not. This will actually access the map as part of the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is wireless in this vehicle, guys. So that's kind of cool as well. So when you hook up your phone wirelessly via Bluetooth, it'll use the wireless connection in your phone as well to display that stuff up on the screen. So you can say, please connect the phone that supports Android Auto or Apple CarPlay via USB cable, or connect your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay device via Bluetooth. So it is wireless and wired. Underneath that, we have the volume control and the mute button, and then there's also the answer and hang up button here as well. Now, one thing that's a little bit interesting about the steering wheel here, you notice there's no Hyundai badge. It just has the 4 dots here that was previously seen on the Ioniq 5 and 6. That does mean the letter H, except it's in Morse code. So 4 dots in Morse code is the letter H, which is why there's no H on the steering wheel. You do also have paddle shifters, which is nice. So you can shift gears manually because the shift stalk in this vehicle is actually tucked here behind the steering wheel. And it's just a rotate to put it into drive or reverse, and then press the end of it to put it into park. Now the vehicle will automatically put the vehicle into park if you take your seatbelt off and open up the driver's door, or if you put the, if you shut the car off, it'll automatically go into park. All right, having a look at the center console, this is kind of interesting. So the console does have a little bit of under armrest storage right here, and it's removable, but underneath is accessible whether or not the lid is open or closed. So you can see there's some storage under there. And then in front of that, you do actually have a couple of cup holders, and reminiscent of the Palisade, you can press these 2 buttons to have those come out, and then you've got a whole bunch of extra storage in here if you're not using them. So you can kind of just have one out or the other out, which is interesting. However, there's another little trick here that you may have noticed me trying to do, but basically this guy here comes out. So if you have something really large that you want to put in here, like an umbrella or something, it will actually fit. So I thought that was kind of neat. I'm not sure exactly why. Oh, there's little grips on there. That's what those lines are. So you just pop that in, press it down, and then it clicks into place. Interesting. Okay, above that we have our controls for our heated seats, heated steering wheel, the backup camera. Let's turn that on real quick and have a look. Yep, so good old Hyundai backup camera. Nice, good resolution, dynamic steering lines. When you turn the steering wheel, you can see the bumper along the bottom here, and you can also change the view. So let's have a look at those. So it's a top-down view, and then there is a very wide angle. Aha! So this is new for Hyundai, filling up the entire screen. It looks like it's just cutting the image though. So if I back out here, we can see as far as the taillight next to us, and it looks like an SUV back there that I can't recognize. Let's have a look if this is any different. No, so it is actually the same view, but it's taking up the entire width of the screen. So you can kind of choose which way you like better. Personally, I like this view because you can see the bumper as well. So the other one is just cutting off the middle. It's cutting off the top and the bottom. And then in the settings for the camera, you can see we can extend the rear view monitor so that it stays on when we put the vehicle in drive, or we can disable the parking lines if we want. We can also go into display settings and adjust the brightness in the day, brightness at night, and the contrast of the screen. All right, getting back to the rest of the stuff on the console here. So we have drive mode and lock. So drive modes on this vehicle are, as you can see here, sport mode. Oh, that's an interesting little animation. snow mode, and then normal mode is the other one. And if we lock the center differential, it puts the little icon up here. So sport mode will tighten up the steering wheel and give you a little bit more low-end kick. And then snow mode will basically start you off in second gear, give you a little less low-end kick. Normal is just normal. But one thing that's kind of neat is just the little graphic here. So I'm gonna rev it up so you can see what it looks like. So a little blue, red line there. Blue. Why would I say blue? In snow mode, you get a yellow line, and in normal, it stays a yellow line. So now on the left-hand side, same idea, probably the same color as well. I'm not going to be driving the vehicle though, because it needs to go through inspection still. All right, we also have an auto hold button here, which of course just holds the vehicle from moving when you take your foot off the brake, whether or not you're on a hill, because it is a power e-brake system, and that's over on the left side of the dash here, which is also automatic. So if you have it on and you put the vehicle into drive or reverse, it'll take the e-brake off for you. You've got the near field communication and wireless charging here. So the reason I say near field communication and wireless charging is because this is where you would put your phone if you're communicating with the digital key. So that's why that is there. Right above there, we have two USB-C ports. This one is going to be for your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, or just playing from a USB device. And then you have your charger here as well. So this will charge another device. Now, as you can see here, right now, this is on USB connection and charge, but what's cool is you can flip this to just charge. So if you want to get a little bit more power here and you don't want to actually connect to the infotainment screen, you can turn this one into just a charging USB port. So it won't link anything up to the screen. That's kind of cool. Haven't seen that before in a Hyundai, so that's new. On this side here, if I press this, you can see we've got a 12-volt outlet and a really nice little door. Actually, there was a lot of engineering that went into that door. Look at that. So there's a lot going on there. Hopefully that lasts long. Feels pretty well made though, so that's good. We have right here 3 seatbelt reminders. So those of course are for the driver's seat, for the passenger seat, and then for the rear seats. You know what, I think this might actually all be for the rear seats. I think it is, just based on the little arrows there. Interesting. Right above that, we have the climate control. So it is dual zone automatic climate control. And like other Hyundais now, we have 3 levels of automatic. That's very luxurious. And of course, we do have the automatic recirculate when you use the windshield washer fluid. So you'll notice it go to recirculate when that's when the windshield washer fluid is being used. So love that feature. Really, really nice. And of course, you can synchronize the 2 sides or not. So there's the synchronize button there. Lots of hard buttons for the infotainment screen, which we'll get to in just a moment. So I'm going to pass the screen and we're going to have a look at the mirror. So we just have a regular manual mirror. And above that, we have the same sort of upper console area as in some of the other Hyundais now. And we have LED lights, map lights, all the lights on, all the lights off, or all the lights on when the door is open. We have call for roadside assistance and call for emergency assistance as part of the BlueLink software. And we have the control for the sunroof. Check this out. We now have a powered sunshade in a Kona. How very luxurious. And you can, of course, stop that anywhere you want. And, of course, this is also the control for the glass. So if I press this straight up, it's going to vent out. If I press it straight up again, it's going to close. Or if I push this all the way back, it's going to open up the sunroof. And now if I want to close just the sunroof, I would push this button forwards halfway, but if I want to close both, I'm going to push it all the way forwards, and it's going to close the sunroof glass as well as the sunshade. There it goes. And then while we're looking up, here is the sun visor, and check this out. Hyundai finally put in LED sun visor lights, so a new light design. The switch is basically the same, and it still turns off when you close the sun visor. Sun visors both have mirrors, and they both slide out. So that's nice. Let's talk about the instrument cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and use those 2 buttons on the on the steering wheel rather, to control everything on that screen. So this top button will cycle through different things, basically 2 different things. It'll go from this screen to this screen. However, there are sub-menus within this screen. You'll notice by the little dots on the right-hand side that just disappeared. To get to those different things, I'm going to use the scroll wheel on the steering wheel. So we're going to start at the top here. I'm going to go ahead and reset this by holding that scroll wheel down. There we go. So that's the current trip information. So how many kilometers we've gone, how long the vehicle's been running, the average fuel economy, and the instant fuel economy is represented by this little arrow on this line. If I scroll down once, this is since the last refueling. Ignore the average fuel economy. Obviously, it gets better than that. So we're going to go ahead and reset. We're going to go ahead and reset that as well. There we go. Going to reset the since last reset. So that's the trip B, for instance. And if I scroll down, we get the tire pressure monitor, which will come up when we start driving. And then our current front wheel position. So you can see if I were to turn the wheel here, there we go. Now it shows that it's pointing to the left. And also, if we start to drive off, it'll show where power is being delivered. So whether it's going to front or rear or both. And that's because this vehicle, of course, is equipped with Hyundai's famous H-Track system, the all-wheel drive system designed and engineered by Magna International. It's going to apply power to all four wheels under any conditions as you're accelerating. But as you start to get closer to the speed that you want to go, your cruising speed, it'll taper off to just front-wheel drive and make it very much more fuel efficient than if it were always all-wheel drive. However, there is, of course, the lock button that we talked about earlier on the center console down there, which will lock it into a full-time four-wheel drive situation until you're up about 65 kilometers an hour. Then it'll go back to front-wheel drive only. So really, really good all-wheel drive system, and it's very predictive. It doesn't wait for something to slip before it's locked in to four-wheel drive, so that's kind of cool. The other thing that the lock switch will do is if the front wheels are both slipping, you won't lose all the power there. It'll actually keep power to the rear wheels as well under any sort of circumstances. It'll lock that center differential, that center clutch. So now I'm going to go ahead and press this top button once, and it's going to take me to this screen. Yeah. So now the screen that we're looking at is the lane keep assistance information as well as the smart cruise control information. So if we were on cruise control, we'd see, how our distance between this car and the car in front of us. We'd actually see other vehicles on here as well, whether or not we're in cruise control. So if the car detects that there's another car in front of us, that sort of thing, it'll show us that on here. Up in the top left here, you can see our current maximum speed limit. So that's kind of cool. It knows what the speed limits are based on the signs that it sees. And then right here, you can see our lane keep assistance icon that will come out green when it's able to detect the lanes on the road. Along the bottom edge, we got our external temperature. So it's 23 degrees out and it's currently in park. So that's the gear that we're currently in. And then of course, the odometer is on the bottom right-hand corner here. At the bottom of both of the circles, we have the fuel. So only 13 kilometers of range left, so we need to get gas. And then over here is the engine temperature. It's kind of nice to see that the speedometer and the tachometer are both digital. That's what most people prefer nowadays anyway. I'm not sure if there's any settings for those things, but we're going to check that out next. So now we're going to look at the infotainment screen. We're still on the backup camera settings, so we're going to go ahead and hit the home button. Now, here's where everything is vastly different. There's no more home screen. So there's no more weird screen that has very little information on it that nobody seems to use. So that's kind of cool. So now what we're looking at on the home screen is a quick access to our current media playback, the phone projections, that'll be Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, valet mode, which is part of BlueLink. It allows you to basically give the vehicle some restrictions if you're handing it over to a valet. Our vehicle diagnostics, which is also part of BlueLink. And then if I swipe to the left, we have maintenance, which again, part of BlueLink, notifications, part of BlueLink. Our online manual, so if I tap that, it gives us a QR code that we can scan. And you'll notice it actually does have the split screen option here as well. And we can change things like the clock face, which is cool. If I slide up, we have our compass, which we can also change two different looks as well. And then at the top left-hand corner, you see the little icon here. This is not part of the online manual, but that's for the user profile. So you can actually change user profiles, which of course remember things like your stereo presets, your lighting level, your ambient light color, that sort of thing. Now, top left, we have a menu button. So if we tap that, we can go straight to profile settings or straight to the online manual. If I tap the media button here, it's going to take us into the radio. So we have AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth audio, USB music. And if I swipe over, we also have Sounds of Nature, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Let's check out the Sounds of Nature, see if there's some new ones here. So we have Lively Forest, which now has some guitar music as part of it. Cool. We have Sailing Ship. That's new. City at Dawn. So it looks like they've added music to each one. So it's not just the sounds of the nature, but sounds of nature accompanying some music. Experience the universe. Do we have music as part of the rainy day? Yes, we do. Moment of meditation. No music here yet. Well, I guess there's a little bit of music. Sounds of spring. All right, so it looks like the sounds of music now are all do include, or sounds of nature, sorry, do all include music. Not sure if I like that idea or not, because now it's no longer just sounds of nature, it's some music. And what if you don't like the music? Well, whatever. Yeah, so I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of that yet. Also, what I'm noticing is there's no ability to view the entire screen here. It looks like you kind of have to have the little sub-screen on the right-hand side. I don't see an arrow. Oh, nope, never mind. Is that it? No, that's just a change. Okay, so that's new. All right, let's go back to the home screen here. We'll turn this volume down. So phone is obvious, phone projection is obvious, valet mode, vehicle diagnostics. I can't actually show you those things unless Bluetooth is set up, or BlueLink is set up. So let's go into the setup screen here. So from the top left to the bottom right, these are all things that were in the previous generation of this software as well. However, the layout's a little bit different. There's no more icons now, they're just squares. And it's a little easier to determine which is which. So I actually really like this layout, and it's making me wish that I had it in my car. I think with an update on my Ioniq 6, it'll probably look like this as well. So let's go into vehicle settings. Yes, again, a different look. So normally they used to be kind of all on the left-hand side. Now they're kind of going across the center here. We're going to start with driver assistance. I've gotten really good at making this easy. So under driver assistance, I'm going to just tap one of these here. So we have our smart cruise control. We can change the distance there, the acceleration, how quickly it does the reacting to changes in distance between you and the car in front of you. We have driving safety. So forward autonomous emergency braking. Awesome. We can change the timing there for the warning. Lane safety, automatically assists steering to help prevent the vehicle from leaving the lane. Blind spot safety provides warning when a risk of blind spot collision is detected, and provides vehicle control when while departing a parallel spot. Interesting. So it'll actually stop a parallel parking collision as well. Safe exit provides a warning when approaching vehicles detected in the vehicle's blind spot. Also after parallel parking when you go to open the door. Interesting. Driver attention, we have leading vehicle departure alert. So you can't turn off the driver attention warning. That's the same as my car, actually, with the Ioniq 6. That's annoying. I wish you could turn that off, actually. Our speed limit warning, let's see here. So sets the properties of the speed limit system. We have country selection. Interesting. I guess so that it knows what to look for signs, I guess. Speed limit assistance, speed limit warning, so provides a warning when exceeding the current road speed limit, and speed limit assistance adjusts the vehicle speed based on the current road speed limit when operating the plus or minus switch. And then we can turn that off as well. So we're going to leave it on speed limit warning. We can also change the offset. So if you do like to speed a little bit, it gives you the option to speed up 10 kilometers an hour over or 10 kilometers an hour under the limit. So we're going to leave that for now. And then parking safety, we have our camera settings, which we saw earlier, and then rear cross traffic safety provides warning of vehicle control when risk of rear cross traffic collision is detected while reversing. So that's kind of nice. So it has autonomous braking in reverse. Under climate, we can go to recirculate air, which again activates upon fluid use, washer fluid use. That's cool. We have automatic ventilation, defrost, defog, and then automatic AC drying. That's really nice to see. So automatically runs the fan after the vehicle is turned off to dry the inside of the air conditioner and prevent mold growth. Awesome feature. Every car should have that. Under lights, we can see we have ambient lighting, and we can change the color of the ambient lighting. There's a custom color here. You can see we can choose all these different settings. So we'll put that on, I don't know, purple for now. Oh, vehicle connection is unstable. So it does use some of this stuff. It communicates with BlueLink so that your user profile will actually adjust all of that as well. Yeah, so it won't let me do it right now because there's no user profile set up and there's no BlueLink account set up. We can also change the one-touch turn signal to 5, 7, or 3 flashes. We have a welcome light here. Approach the vehicle with Smart Key. We'll turn on puddle light or door handle lights if equipped. This one does, of course, have door handle lights, not puddle lights. Headlight delay, high beam assist. So this will automatically enable and disable the high beams. Sorry about the screen constantly changing focus here, guys. My apologies. It's picking up my hand the whole time. And then we have interior lights illuminate. So it illuminates the interior buttons and switches at all times. So even if the car's headlights are not on, all of these lights will still be on. So that's kind of cool. Under door, we have automatic lock, automatic unlock, 2-press unlock, and remote window control. Disables the remote window control function. So essentially what that means is if you hold down the unlock button on your key fob, the windows will open. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot now. I'm going to shut the car off. So now, hopefully the car doesn't realize that I'm still in it. I'm going to hold down the unlock button. There we go. So it opens the windows, but will it close the windows? Unfortunately, I don't think it will, but we'll try it. No. So the Ioniq 6 is the same way, Ioniq 5 as well, and several other Hyundais. Unfortunately, you can open the windows, you just can't close them again from the key fob. And that's a safety thing. I guess it's just making sure that if somebody's, you know, got their arm in the window or whatever, and you go to close it, it's not going to clamp down on their arm. Now, of course, these windows do have a safety feature where if they detect something, they stop and they open again. So not sure why they omitted the option to close the windows again. But either way, let's go back into the settings. All right, below the door settings is the digital key settings. So here's where you can enable and disable smartphone key and NFC card key. And you have the digital key information number here as well, the serial number. And then under convenience, you see we have the rear occupant alert. So if any time the rear doors are open while the car is on, or after it's been unlocked rather, when you go to shut the car off, it'll remind you to check the rear seats. We also have a service interval, oil change reminder, and then down here you can see we have wireless charging system for mobile devices. That's the wireless charge that we saw earlier, and auto rear wiper. So when your headlight or when your front wipers are on, it'll turn the rear wiper on as well when you're in reverse. And again, you have the menu button down here. So if you need to, you can go to the online manual that'll take you directly to this page that talks about this stuff. So that's kind of cool. Now we have, well, we already looked at digital keys and we already looked at convenience. So that is everything in the vehicle settings. Under sound settings, I don't imagine much has changed. The layout's definitely changed, but we still have speed dependent volume control. We have a startup limit, which is good. We have our position, of course, our tone, bass, treble, mid-range. We can change the guidance volumes, and we can enable the welcome sound, which we will do. Radio noise reduction, that sort of thing. So nothing's really changed in there. That's all the same. Device connections, where you would actually connect up a phone, your user profile settings, your screen layout settings. So let's go into there. So we can link the cluster to the drive mode, which it is, or we can change the appearance of the gauges to, there we go, our classic analog speedometer and tachometer. It really actually looks nice, doesn't it? But we'll leave it on that for now, and then somebody else could change that if they want. But I'm going to actually unlink to the drive mode here because there is different styles. So we have style A, style B, style C, and then if I go into simplified, style C, B, A. Okay, well, doesn't really change a whole lot, does it? We have our screensaver, so we can enable the clock, and then we have quick access to change what the clock looks like. So what that is, guys, if I put it on this one, for instance, and then I press and hold the volume button, it comes up with a clock. So that's what that is. And then our split screen settings, which will give us our compass and our clock, which we saw earlier. All right, and then we have display, so we can change the brightness of the display. We can change the camera settings, our BlueLink filter, blue light filter. Sorry, there's so many things with blue light, blue link, Bluetooth. It's hard to keep them straight when you're talking fast. We have automatically adjust the blue light in the screen to reduce eye strain, so that's cool. We have the quick access to change the custom button. So there's the button on the steering wheel, which we talked about earlier, and then there's this button right here, which I generally will link up to phone projection, so that when you press that, it takes you back into Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Okay, cluster settings, which we saw already. Blue Link we can't do right now. And then under general, you can see we have on or over the air updates once Blue Link is active and once they actually start doing over the air updates in Canada. So that's really nice. And then also in here, of course, you can change your date, time, language, keyboard units, media options, that sort of thing. And that is pretty much it. So thank you so much for getting this far. I know it's a long video, but as with many other Hyundais, there is a lot of features in this vehicle to talk about. So great value, good space. If you're looking at the Tucson, look at the new 2024 Kona as well, because it might be a reasonable vehicle to get into for a lower price than the Tucson. If you compare the 2024 Kona and the Tucson, you're going to save thousands on the Kona, and you're only going to lose a little bit of space. You're not going to lose much in the way of features at all, really. Now, if you're looking for a hybrid, unfortunately in Canada anyway, we won't get a hybrid Kona for a while now. But we are going to get them probably in a year or so. The EV Kona is coming out soon as well, so stay tuned for that video. Hopefully we'll see one of those within the next 6 months, and then as soon as we do, of course, I'll put a video up. If we do get any other Konas in 2024 models, maybe the Ultimate, we have an Ultimate coming in soon, I'll do a video on that. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you got something out of this video, and stay tuned until next one. Have a great day.